Today on Play to Win, the national title game, Alabama and Clemson. We'll pick it on the show. Also, the Jacob Eason, Kirby Smart era begins at the University of Georgia. Plus, the NFL playoffs begin today. We'll pick them. Jeffrey against the spread. Plus, injuries and fantasy football on the fastest 30 minutes in football.
Play to Win is being brought to you by Toyota, the Georgia Lottery, and John Foy and Associates. Welcome to Play to Win with former Falcons All-Pro defensive end Chuck Smith. Fantasy Football League previews with Adam Brown. Game analysis with Nikki Williams. Play to Win expert Jeffrey the Ed Schechter. Medical and injury update with Dr. Andrew Lalagi. And your host, Atlanta sports veteran Bob Neal. Today's SEC report is being brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, and welcome to the show. Chuck Smith down in Florida coaching up the potential pros before the combine. And, of course, Bob Whitfield is here as usual. Nikki is in Las Vegas, and we don't know what she's doing there because what happens in Vegas
stays in Vegas.
Exactly right. And Harper LaBelle is in. Good to see you. Former teammates at the Falcons. And, of course, Jeffrey the Ed Schechter, who's going to be picking them against the spread. We're going to get started with the SEC report. And the SEC report is the SEC bowled about a, what would you call it, a 280? If you're thinking of 300 in bowling. They went 8-2. And, Jeffrey, you talk about the teams going 8-2 overall, but even more importantly from your perspective is they were pretty good against the spread.
The first 6 games of the SEC West, they all won. They all covered easily. I put an asterisk on Game 7. Texas A&M was originally the favorite. When their quarterbacks transferred, they became an underdog. They would have been a favorite, and they would have won. So they would win 7 games there. Florida reverted back to what they should have been. So they wound up 8-2. All 8 teams winners covered. The 2 teams lost, of course, did not cover. Yeah. And I'll make one more comment.
Yeah.
Mississippi is as good as any team in the country. The SEC is the best conference in the country. There's no argument. And right now, Mississippi could beat anybody in the country.
Okay, there you go. Well, we'll see. Chad Kelly, of course, that quarterback, that'll be good. They did lose some guys, so we may have debate on that a little bit later. But Jeffrey the Edge usually knows whereof he speaks. And now it's time for our college football showdown, brought to you by the Georgia Lottery and Harper LaBelle. Let's go right to the quarterbacks. Alabama, Jake Coker.
Talk about the big man on campus at 6'5". He towers over everybody. Coming from Florida State, he spent 2 years there. Going back to Alabama, that's his team that when he grew up as a young man wanted to be an Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback. Now he's getting his chance to do it. What a great career he's had. Interesting season, though. 2 interceptions against Mississippi, then 3 weeks later, 2 more against Arkansas. He's only had 2 since then in the last 8 games. Watch for him to have a great game and to close out a storybook career.
And a lot of that could have to do with how well Henry plays for the Tide and whether or not the Clemson D can play well against him.
Well, the Clemson D has 2 linebackers that are doing the job for them. They have leading the team in tackles. This is Bullware and Goodson, and they have to show up against Alabama and lead the pressure defense to keep Clemson number 1.
All right, and this guy knows Deshaun Watson from way back, Harper LaBelle.
Got to watch him against all the 4 years that he played in high school, and what an impressive young man. Watching him grow and mature, especially during the offseason, a chance to go to some of these quarterback camps and develop his arm and see how good he was against some of the other quarterbacks that are out there. Now he gets a chance to shine. Heisman Trophy finalist and getting a chance to play for the national championship. He's an amazing young athlete.
And Clemson has a pretty good running back in Wayne Gallman, too. Let's talk about Alabama's ferocious front 7 against Clemson's offense.
Well, definitely, Bob. Clemson's offense have struggled with the offensive line being a new unit coming together. I'm not saying struggle, I'm saying they have played well, but they haven't met a team like Alabama with a front 7 with Ragland and all these guys that are going to the pros. It'll be a tough sledding for that offensive line to compete.
Let's find out who's going to win. Let's go to Jeffrey the Ed Schechter. National championship game. Here's what's going to happen.
Alabama's a great team. Got all the respect in the world for them. But August, I picked Clemson. They shut down Oklahoma in the second half. I like Clemson with the 7. I think they're going to win the game and be the national champion.
Okay, forget the spread. Who are you picking, Harper?
Top to bottom, I think Alabama has the best team. But Dabo Swinney's a man of God. It may take a miracle. He might get it.
Who are you picking?
I have to go Alabama on this one, Bob.
Yeah. I'm going Alabama too. They're just too good all the way over the place. What are you going to do to try to stop them? Up next, our hometown team report. We'll talk about the University of Georgia, Kirby Smart, Jacob Eason, and what it looks like in 2016 on Play to Win.
This is the Toyota Corolla? Jump in. Whoa, look at all this stuff. Right? Moonroof, Bluetooth. Is that a backup camera?
Yep, standard.
Standard? Get out of here.
I can't. You just lock this in.
Why didn't I get a Toyota Corolla?
I told you there's nothing like it.
Oh, it's so roomy. Oh, there's like...
That's enough.
The 2016 Toyota Corolla. Get a low 0% APR for 36 months on a new 2016 Toyota Corolla. Toyota, let's go places.
Toyotathon is on at Stone Mountain Toyota, and that means tremendous savings for you on a new Toyota. The new 2016 Toyota Camry LE Automatic is Toyotathon priced at only $18,891. For a limited time, save big on a new 2016 Corolla L Automatic. Yours for just $14,991.
Stone Mountain Toyota, a great price, a great buying experience. Come in and have a cup of coffee with me today.
You're just one number off, but the game is on.
Cash 3 and Cash 4 players, your days of being just one number off from the winning numbers are over with a brand new way to play called One Off. If any or all of your numbers are just one digit off the winning numbers in exact order, you still win. That gives you tons of chances to win a bunch of cash.
Just one number off, but the game is on.
Save great games? Not with the new feature. Play Cash 3 and Cash 4 with One Off, only from the Georgia Lottery.
Start the new year in a new Nissan. During Nissan's 2016 event, choose from 7 models with 0% financing for up to 60 months, plus up to $5,000 cash back. Or lease Altima just $189 per month. But hurry, the excitement may last, but 0% on 7 models won't. Offers end February 1st. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com. Innovation that excites.
Hometown Team Report is being brought to you by Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers, bringing a higher order of pizza to Atlanta for 40 years.
Hometown Team Report, and today the Hometown Team Report's all about the Georgia Bulldogs. Next week, we'll look into 2016 for Georgia Tech. And of course, the big story at the University of Georgia is Kirby Smart's in. He's starting to hire a staff as the new head coach. He's bringing in Shane Beamer to coach tight ends. Of course, is the son of Frank Beamer, so a little Beamer ball coming to Georgia. And the other big news at Georgia is Jacob Eason, the highly touted freshman quarterback. Harper, fill us in on, he'll be a freshman, even though he's going to be a pretty good quarterback.
Oh, he's one of the top recruits in the country. I think that you bring in a guy 6'5", 205 pounds, you're going to get in the weight room a little bit, get a chance to get acclimated on the campus, learn his way around, get to meet some of his professors, some of the other students, but more importantly, the playbook.
He's on campus today registering for classes. This is the registration for University of Georgia. And one of the guys, I bet he's already taken care of, A, the offensive line, but B, those running backs.
Oh, definitely, Bob. He has 2 great running backs that will help him in the long haul. He got Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. Remember, Nick Chubb was leading the team with 13 100-yard games. He got injured, and then Sony Michel came on and had 1,100 yards himself. So they can help the quarterback in the long run.
All right, now we look into 2016. We're going to go to Jeffrey the Ed Schechter with his over-under pick. So give me an over-under on wins for the Bulldogs in 2016.
This year they were 10-3. They played 3 good teams and lost to them. The best team they beat was a mediocre Auburn team with an injured quarterback. He's got his work cut out for him, Kirby Smart. I make the over and under 8.
All right, Jeffrey says 8. I think it'll be 9, but Jeffrey is usually right. Now it's time for 68 Seconds with 680, and a man who won a national championship in 1980 with the Dogs Buck Bellew is picking this year's national championship game with Alabama and Clemson.
Well, guys, I'm just so excited about this national championship matchup. I can hardly wait for them to kick off. I even busted out the national championship ring from a few decades ago. But Alabama has a chance to do something here that hasn't been done in college football in 70 years, matching what Notre Dame did back in the 40s. And we're talking about 4 championships over a 7-year run. I wouldn't be so quick to just hand it to Alabama, though. I'm really high on this Clemson team coming into the national championship game. We've got 2 of the best coaching staffs and 2 star players in this ball game with Saban and Dabo and their staffs, and then you've got Deshaun Watson and Derrick Henry being featured on both sides of the coin there. But I tell you what, this game's going to be decided on the line of scrimmage, where Alabama has bullied everybody. So impressed with the way Clemson's line of scrimmage played against Oklahoma. They handled their business. Look, they don't have to win big on the line of scrimmage. Just hold the rope and give Deshaun Watson an opportunity early to get them off to a fast start. It's going to be exciting. Can't wait to see it.
All right, Buck, I think you're picking Alabama. I'm going to say Buck picked Alabama there, even though he may not have. Next up, fantasy football and the NFL playoffs on Football's Play to Win.
Why can't I have a slice of yours?
You're a cartoon. You can only have cartoon pizza.
It's not fair.
Look, this pie is 100% real, and you're colored ink. It's physics, man.
Well, can you buy me a beer?
I can buy you a cartoon beer. Are you single?
It's surprise.
Everyone wants real mellow mushroom pizza because our pies use premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggies, and spring water dough baked with wheat goodness. Mellow Mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
It's time to buy your new vehicle right now during the year-end blockbuster sales event at Mall of Georgia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Epic savings like this. Take $6,000 off a 2016 Jeep Cherokee Sport and pay only $19,729. A 2015 Ram 1500 Bighorn is $11,000 off MSRP. And take $4,000 off MSRP on a 2015 Jeep Wrangler. Incredible year-end savings now at Mall of Georgia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and online anytime at yourdodge.com.
Start the new year in a new Nissan. During Nissan's 2016 event, choose from 7 models with 0% financing for up to 60 months, plus up to $5,000 cash back. Or lease Altima just $189 per month. But hurry, the excitement may last, but 0% on 7 models won't. Offers end February 1st. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com. Innovation that excites.
Today's Fantasy Report is being brought to you by SD Services. Home comfort or plumbing issues? We can fix that.
All right, welcome to Fantasy Football. Who's hot and who's cold? We had a picture of you doing your hard work down in Florida.
Real rough being on the beach.
Working on the phones down there. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Playoff time,
Yeah.
less players, but more important.
Absolutely. So the season leagues are done. Now we're in the Fantasy Football Week Leagues Wild Card Weekend. Let's get started with the quarterbacks, and let's get started with Russell Wilson this week. Russell Wilson's my top-rated player. It's going to be very cold in Minnesota, but Russell Wilson, Week 13 versus Minnesota, at Minnesota, 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also, look at number 3 on the board, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, Kirk Cousins, I said. 11 touchdown passes the last 3 weeks. Look for him to have another nice week against a bad Green Bay defense. Let's get on to running backs now, and Marshawn Lynch, he's back. Marshawn Lynch is back this week. He's going to get his 20 touches a game. It's going to be cold. They're going to run the football. I like him a lot this week, especially in that cold. And Alfred Blue at the bottom of the list. You're wondering where Adrian Peterson is? Well, Seattle's defense. But Alfred Blue finished the season with 2 of his last 3 games with 100 yards rushing. Wide receivers now. The wide receivers, these are the usual names, but you see at the bottom of the list, James Jones. But let's get started with Antonio Brown last 3 weeks. 36 receptions, 3 touchdowns, and then at the bottom, James Jones. He's been targeted 33 times the past 3 weeks, most of any Green Bay receiver. Now, tight ends. We don't talk about tight ends enough, but there's a tight end in Washington that's very, very good in Jordan Reed. And Jordan Reed, the last 4 weeks, has 29 receptions and 5 touchdowns. That's helped Kirk Cousins out a ton on the outside. And Heath Miller played twice against the Bengals this year. He has a combined 20 receptions in those 2 games. I like Heath Miller to have a nice day against the Bengals this week as well.
Now, let's take a look at the defenses here. And I like the way you listed the defenses.
Right.
You've got them in order of how you see them, right?
That's how I see them this week. Yeah, I said Green Bay's defense has been bad, but quite frankly, they haven't been as bad as you think against somebody like a Washington. But Seattle's defense, they're playing in minus 23-degree wind chill. Well, Bridgewater, Week 13 against Seattle, threw for 118 yards and had an interception. So my thought process is, in a cold weather game, they're going to load the box and they're going to rush Bridgewater and make his life miserable. Right. So I really like Seattle's defense this week as my number one defense.
He might not even have 100 yards.
He might not have 100 yards. That's right. Good luck, everyone.
Stay with us now. We'll be back with the NFL right after this.
Is your heating system blowing cold air? We can fix that. Turn to the experts at Carrier and ST Services. We've been installing and repairing heating and air systems in Atlanta for 66 years. Need to get warm? We can fix that.
In a wreck? Get a check.
I'm attorney John Foy, the strong arm. If you've been in a car accident, someone needs to pay. The sooner you call, the faster we'll get started.
I was hit and my car was spun out of control. I suffered injuries all over my body. I got the upper hand. I called the strong arm. My check, $1.2 million.
In a wreck? Get a check. Get the strong arm. Attorney John Foy and Associates.
We've owned a few different houses through the years. Your company was absolutely the best. They were so professional. Everything they didn't get a mark on a wall or anything else. It was clean, it was friendly, and it was fun. And most of the time, moving is not fun. I'm going to give a great recommendation to Atlanta Peach Movers. It's always on time and it's always professional. There is no tree in Atlanta Peach Movers.
To schedule your move, call Atlanta Peach Movers today.
Bad pipes, clogs, broken water heater? We can fix that. ST's Plumbing Services, your man for all seasons since 1949, will make your plumbing problems disappear. From pesky pipes to new water heaters, we can fix that.
Today's NFL report is being brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
All right, NFL playoffs start today, my favorite time of the year, of course. And first of all, let's begin in the American Football Conference. These are the wild card games. And the first game this afternoon at 4:35 on ESPN ABC, Kansas City at Houston. How do you see it, Harper LaBelle?
Well, I like that two of the more intriguing teams right now. They're both hot, but Kansas City with 11 wins in a row, 4 on the road, going into Houston. They've got great defense, and they're scoring points offensively in a way that they really hadn't earlier in the year. I like Kansas City.
All right, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. The Pittsburgh Steelers got in when the Jets lost, but Pittsburgh's pretty good. How do you see it?
Well, Bob, I see it as a slugfest. They will have action-packed drama going on that field, hitting each other hard. You got to remember, Vontaze Burfict went low on Ben Roethlisberger, and they have a lot to get back at Cincinnati Bengals with those Pittsburgh Steelers. So look for a tough, aggressive matchup.
You lean toward Pittsburgh?
I do, of course.
Let's see who you think, Jeffrey, the edge on what is the most intriguing game here.
Kansas City, Houston. They played game one. Kansas City won and proceeded to lose 5 in a row. Houston got off to a terrible start. Remember that 44-7 beating Atlanta gave them. Both teams finished hot. They're hot coming into the playoffs. This should be a very good game.
Okay, I'm looking forward to all of them, actually. Let's go to the National Football Conference now in the NFC. And I like this one, although I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be on the sidelines or in the booth because Harper LaBelle, Seattle at Minnesota is going to be chilly.
Yeah, the number is 1, Bob. That's right now what they think the high temperature for the day, 1 degree. Whoa. It could be as cold as -9. So when you look at Seattle, what do they have to do? Marshawn Lynch is back, and I'm telling you what, they're going to have to run and probably try to score early in this ball game. They've got an advantage in that they beat Minnesota earlier in the year in Minnesota, but anything can happen in the playoffs, especially when it's cold as it's going to be today.
Okay, we got Green Bay at Washington in the NFC, and from my point of view, all year long I kept looking at Washington saying, and I don't like to say their name anymore, looking at the Washington name and thinking they're not that good. But here they are hosting a wild card game.
Well, I'll say it, Bob. The Redskins are for real. You got to like Kirk Cousins. He is an efficient quarterback. And you got to look at the matchup advantage that the Redskins will have over the Green Bay offensive line. It's a makeshift offensive line, and they got a left tackle that is making his second start in Josh Sitton. Look for the Redskins to victory.
Mr. Politically correct, easy for me to say. All right, Jeffrey, I want you to talk about which game you think of these two will be the most intriguing.
Green Bay, Washington. I'd like to be Kirk Cousins' agent. Two teams kind of heading in different directions. Washington gets better every week, and Green Bay is struggling.
All right, there you go, the most intriguing game, and that's the AFC and NFC playoffs. They start today and tomorrow. We come back. Jeffrey the Edge comes back with us for the lightning round. You know what that means? Picks of the playoff
Start the new year in a new Nissan. During Nissan's 2016 event, choose from 7 models with 0% financing for up to 60 months, plus up to $5,000 cash back. Or lease Altima just $189 per month. But hurry, the excitement may last, but 0% on 7 models won't. Offers end February 1st. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com. Innovation that excites.
The Wizard, can you make me real so I can eat real mellow mushroom pizza instead of cartoon pizza?
Stand back. Here we go. Alakazam! Wiggity stickity poof!
I'm still a cartoon.
Then that'd be a no.
Everyone wants real mellow mushroom pizza because our pies use premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggies, and spring water dough baked with wheat goodness.
Wiggity stickity poof.
Mellow mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
You're just one number off, but the game is on.
Cash 3 and Cash 4 players, your days of being just one number off from the winning numbers are over with a brand new way to play called One Off. If any or all of your numbers are just one digit off the winning numbers in exact order, you still win. That gives you tons of chances to win a bunch of cash.
Just one number off, but the game is on.
Same great games, now with a new feature. Play Cash 3 and Cash 4 with One Off, only from the Georgia Lottery.
Hello?
Hey, Jason. No need to rush. Mr. Brooks won't be in today.
Nice. Thanks.
With an aggressive new look and attitude, we took America's best-selling car in a bold direction. A Toyota Camry. What bold moves will you make? Get a low 0% APR for 60 months on a new 2016 Toyota Camry. Toyota, let's go places.
Today's Player Medical and Injury Report is being brought to you by John Foy and Associates. Personal injury law. Get the strong arm.
All right, it is time for the injury report and the player medical report with Dr. A, who will be along in just a moment. First of all, the NFL injury report, because the playoffs are here. It's a short list. D'Angelo Williams, the third one down there, questionable. Dr. A will be dealing with him. And you see the others who are on the official NFL injury report as of today. And now it's time to welcome back Dr. A.
How are you?
Miss you. Heard you went snowboarding.
Yes, and we won't report on my injury.
You should be up on your chart here.
That's right. That's right.
It's playoff time,
yes.
So not as many players, but more important players.
Yeah, and their injuries have much more of an impact. So let's take a look at the table. Tom Brady, they're saying it's a high ankle sprain. He has 2 weeks to recover. They take about 2 weeks to recover. He's downgraded only to an A-, still at low risk at 80%. Now, Adrian Peterson, this is actually really important. So we had him from a low risk and we downgraded him to a moderate risk right before the last game, and he went out with a back injury. He tried to come back in. He hardly played in the game, so we downgraded him now to a B- at 65%. Fantasy players should take a look at that. Now, D'Angelo Williams, looks like his ankle is a severe grade 3 ankle sprain. He's probably got torn ligaments. He was at a C- at very high risk, now down to an F+. Do not touch is basically what that's saying. Exactly. So now, key players to watch. Marshawn Lynch, abdominal injury, sports hernia surgery, but it takes about 8 weeks to recover, and he's had about 8 weeks to recover, and so he's upgraded now from high risk to moderate risk to a B, so that's of a particular attention. Jonathan Stewart, running backs with foot injuries, do not do well, so he's only upgraded to a C+, even though he's had the full time to recover. Andy Dalton, thumb fracture, in the throwing hand. It takes 12 weeks to fully heal. He cannot take that cast off and try to throw in 5 weeks. That's why he's staying at high risk at 55%. And Julian Edelman, again, foot sprain, anything with a foot, wide receiver, stays at a D+, 45%. You just can't start him. If he has a little bit of pain, he slows down, and then he's toast in the game.
You are playoff ready. Stay with us. Dr. A will be back next week. Stay with us, because coming up next, Jeffrey's playoff picks.
It can happen to anyone. The road to your recovery can be painful, both physically and financially. Protect your rights and get the lawyer who fights.
American-owned, family-operated. Since 1829,
No bull. Just lager. From America's oldest brewery, Yingling.
In a wreck? Get a check.
A reckless driver swerved into me. I called the strong arm. My check, $675,000.
Get the strong arm. Attorney John Foy and Associates.
All right, it's time for the lightning round. You know what that means. Jeffrey the Ed Schechter getting the picks on it. This is the wild card. And Jeffrey, let's get started with how you're seeing them against the spread.
All due respect, I think Houston deserves all the respect in the world. They came on, but I'm just liking Kansas City. They came on strong at the end. I think they're a team of destiny.
All right, how about Pittsburgh and Cincinnati?
Everybody likes Pittsburgh, but I like Cincinnati. I think McCarron has a good arm, and he's got great receivers. And if Cincinnati doesn't sit on the ball with a lead, they should beat Pittsburgh.
And you're talking about home team underdogs here again in all 4 games. Let's go to the NFC now and see what you think.
Seattle, Minnesota. Minnesota got killed by Seattle early in the year, so you think it's going to happen again? No. Minnesota's 13-3 against the points this year, and they're going to win this game.
And you like Washington, I see, with Green Bay.
When's the last time you saw a Green Bay quarterback go back in the pocket and just set his feet and throw the ball? I don't remember.
Been a long time.
I love Washington.
And by the way, we were talking about the college bowl games. There were 41 college bowl games this year. That's too many. And Jeffrey said now there should be one more.
One more. The Toilet Bowl. Take 2 1-11 teams who just fired their coach and have a game.
Rutgers,
Kansas.
Kansas, there you go. All right, it's going to be 42 games next year. All right, guys, I want to talk to both of you about the division winners are off in terms of the NFL playoffs. And I want to go to the NFC, Panthers and the Cardinals. I think it's a toss-up between which one of those teams is the best team in football. What do you think?
Well, definitely, Bob. I really like Carolina. I like Carolina. I like Cam Newton. I like them dabbing. I like the energy they bring. I like that defense. And I really like them having a week to rest and see who comes out of the fracas in the other matchups in the wild card. Look for Carolina to do strong.
All right, Cardinals pretty good, Harper.
Yeah, they are. They've got a great team and a really good defense, and when Carson Palmer's on, it's tough to beat. But like Bob, I agree. Take advantage of this week off. Get to watch everybody else beat each other up, and then they have to go into your building and try to play on the following week. It's a great advantage to have the bye.
Okay, let's go to the AFC. The 2 division winners are New England and Denver. Denver going to start Peyton Manning in that game.
That's a big test for Peyton, because I said it's one of those things that whether you start Peyton and you lose, okay, farewell Peyton. You start the young kid and you lose, bad farewell coach move. So look for Peyton to try to do something good out there, but maybe he needs a little help to win that game.
The team actually played better for him when he came in, but he still doesn't have that real arm thing. What are you thinking about the Patriots? Also not one of their typical years.
Yeah, I think they needed the rest. They got beat up pretty badly down in Miami, especially Tom Brady. He's one of those guys just got rolled up by Ndamukong Suh. He did a great job there of messing him up. But I like the Patriots. They always seem to win when they have to.
All right, for Jeffrey and Harper and Bob Whitfield, this is football's Play to Win. The playoffs start today.
Play to Win has been brought to you by the Southeastern Nissan dealers,
Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers,
and SD Services.